trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
You never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them. Never. That was the training that I had. You don't point a gun at me.
So by now you know Alec Baldwin has been charged with involuntary manslaughter for shooting and killing the cinematographer on his movie set, Rust. One woman was killed and another man was injured. I guess the bullet entered and exited her body and struck somebody else. He should be charged with involuntary manslaughter because he was involved in the involuntary killing of another. He didn't have to plan it. He didn't have to mean it. He did it, so he should be held accountable. But he will tell you, like that short clip, that he did not pull the trigger. He wasn't trained that way. He was trained to never point the gun at someone and pull the trigger. And he's absolutely right, because that's how we are trained. You have a firearm, you always consider it loaded, even if it is not. You never point the firearm in the direction of a person and pull the trigger. That's the number one no-no in handgun safety. And Alec knew that. But he claims he did not pull the trigger. Well, Alec, I have to disagree because how did that gun fire? He's blaming the armorer. She told him it was a cold gun. He should have checked it. He should have checked that firearm himself to make sure there was a dummy round in it or no round at all. But the prosecutor laid out her charges, and she said that he pulled the trigger because she's right. Here's what she had to say.
Every person that handles a gun has a duty to make sure that if they are going to handle that gun, point it at someone and pull the trigger, that it is not going to fire a projectile and kill someone. He was the actor that pulled the trigger, so certainly he's charged as an actor. But also as a producer, he also had a duty to make sure that the set was safe.
And again, he had the duty to make sure that that firearm was not loaded. Not only as the actor, but as the producer of the film. He wanted to make sure, or should have made sure, that everyone was safe when a firearm was being used, and he did not. And after the fact, he went on to talk and then was told, shut your mouth, you're talking too much. And we all know Alec Baldwin has been a loose cannon for years. He's attacked photographers, videographers, reporters. We all know he had drunken rampages, yelling at his daughters or his wife. He's an absolute loose cannon. Now, I do feel bad that he killed someone unwillingly, but he needs to be held responsible for the loss of life to that young lady because he is the one who was in charge. He pulled the trigger, the gun fired, and it killed her. No matter what he says, I didn't pull the trigger. That's absolute nonsense. Okay? The gun just doesn't go off by itself. That's why I always say in other videos, guns don't kill people. People with guns kill people. And this is a prime example, even though it was an accident. But The View, of course, my favorite show, Big Red and the crew had a discussion. And one of the ladies was explaining how dangerous it is to have a firearm on the set. And then Joy had something to say, which is absolutely ridiculous in my view because she is such an asshat. But have a look at this clip.
To be in charge of lethal weapons on a set is a big responsibility. And to know that first and foremost, regardless of who thought it was a cold gun, the actor, the director, the producers on the show, it is literally your job's definition to be responsible for these lethal weapons.
But it is not the actor's job.
Well, I'm not even clarifying.
Why is it the actor? Well, wait a minute. So someone hands you the actor. Someone says, here's a cold gun. I'm the armor, whatever they do. And you're supposed to now check it again? How?
Apparently most do. What, according to the DA, what she said is that they've checked with other actors, and accordingly, most do. I think we're going to see
how do
the
they
testimony.
do that? How does the actor
I think you open it up and you
open it up and look to see if there's a live
bullet.
Not live English bullet, blank.
And once again, a person who makes sense. You heard her. It is the most important job on the set when guns are involved to make sure they are safe, they are not loaded. That is a responsibility of the actor, of the producers, of the armorer. But then Joy had to pipe up and say, it's not the actor's job. Well, whose job is it, Joy? He is the actor. He's the producer. Just because the armorer said, here you go, buddy, here's a cold gun. Go ahead, pull the trigger and point it at somebody. That is ridiculous. And Anna Navarro, I have to give her credit because she even said it. Most actors will tell you they check the firearm themselves to see if it is safe. But Joy doesn't even understand how to check it. Oh my God. How about pointing it in a safe direction? If it's a semi-automatic gun, you pull the magazine and you rack it back. If it's a revolver, you open it and you look to see what's in there. Either it's empty and you can see the round if it's a dummy round. That's how you check it, Joy. This woman just cannot come to grips with reality, okay? She has to always sound like a moron, the moron that she is. How do you check it? It's not the actor's job. Why, oh why, I say this every time I talk about them, why are they even still allowed to be on TV? They make no sense. They have no education on anything that's happening in the real world. It's not the actor's job. Well, guess what? It was his job, and now he's being charged. And that charge of involuntary manslaughter in New Mexico carries a prison sentence of, I believe, 6 years. Now, do I think that Alec Baldwin is going to go to prison? Probably not, at least not for 6 years. But he should be held accountable for the involuntary killing of a human being. End of story, no questions asked. I don't care how many times he says he didn't pull that trigger. He pulled the trigger. I've been around guns for a lot of years, and the gun is not going to go off unless your finger is on that trigger. Okay? So Joy Behar's argument goes right out the window. It's not the actor's duty to check it. How do you even check it? We all know that Joy Behar is nothing but a windbag. Okay? She knows nothing about real life. She just likes talking trash and bashing people. It was his duty to keep that set safe, to keep the people in his film safe, and he failed to do so, and he needs to be held accountable. So stay tuned, because there's going to be a lot more to this. He needs to go to trial and let a jury figure it out. And we can only hope that they won't see stars in their eyes when, Alec Baldwin comes walking in the courtroom looking all smooth and shit. No. He needs to be held accountable for being a person who committed an involuntary crime, and he needs to be held accountable. And that's it. And that's my opinion on this. So thanks for tuning in. If you haven't liked this video, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, share this video with someone. I hope everybody's healthy and safe, and I'll see you soon with something else. Have a great night.